Hey guys, today is all about branding. You're going to learn how to increase your brand awareness so you can make more money. So today you will learn how to build a brand that makes money. It's all about advanced marketing today. So you're going to build an audience through really clever branding. So this is going to let you sell more stuff even if nobody has heard of you. So don't worry if you haven't got a following, you haven't got an email list, don't worry. Even if you haven't started yet, it's fine. You're going to learn how to build an audience using this method. I'm going to give you the number one branding strategy that builds awareness and gets traffic. Your audience is traffic, of course. So you're going to learn why branding is so important and what branding really is and what it's not. There's a big misconception about branding. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, why it's important and what it's not. And we're going to use social media for this. So you don't have to learn any new tools or new skills or anything like that. Chances are you're already using Facebook, so you're going to be right at home with this. I'm going to show you exactly what to talk about, what content to create, how to create it really quickly, really easily. And I'm going to give you the main talking points. So we're going to have the 3 messaging columns. We'll get into this later on. This is really important. I'm going to walk you through the entire process so you know exactly what you need to speak about to your audience, which will ultimately result in you making more money. So it all starts with giving people helpful content, helping them to achieve something, accomplish something. And then you make offers. Every single time you help them, you make a new offer. It's that simple. Give people helpful content, make an offer. And then if you stay until the end, I'm going to show you how you can get more organic traffic for free. I'm going to give you some unique traffic strategies. I'll show you how to get them at the end, and that won't cost you a penny. So why is branding so important? Well, it helps people. Okay, that sounds really good, and it might be a noble pursuit or whatever, but listen, we got to feed ourselves. We have to pay the rent. We have to pay the mortgage, don't we? So, in addition to helping people, the money you make is directly proportional to the amount of goodwill you create in your market. So the more people you help, the more money you make. And when this is done right, established brands can pretty much sell anything they like. I'll show you what I mean. So for example, Rolex. I love the Rolex brand, and you might think of them as a watchmaker. That's how they're known. That's how they're branded as luxury watches. But did you know they also sell pens? They actually sell a whole heap of different things as in addition to pens and watches, but they've built their brand around watches, but they also have multiple revenue streams selling different types of products under the Rolex brand. Gary Vee, he sells shoes, he sells those trainers, right? Bentley, known for cars, they sell furniture too. So when you get your branding right, it allows you to pivot into different markets to attract different segments of different markets. And it creates multiple revenue streams. So that's why branding is so important. It's so powerful when you do this. Me today at the moment, I sell training courses. But if I wanted to, I could sell services. I could sell a whole heap of different things in addition to those training courses. Because, Profit Copilot teaches you the stuff that works in my other businesses, and that's really what it's all about. But if I wanted to, I could go into mentorship, coaching, I could create mastermind groups, I could have retreats, all kinds of stuff. I could do speaking, public speaking, engagements, that kind of thing. So that's the power of branding. So when you get it right, you're not locked into any single revenue stream. But what is branding? So now we know how powerful it is. Well, it's not just about your logo, your colors, or your fonts. It's not just about the visual stuff, the stuff that people see. I know and you know that people spend so much time and money on getting that perfect logo because they think it's the logo that's going to build their brand. It's not. It's also how you communicate with your audience. That's more important than your logo, because when you communicate, you share your story. We have to be careful about this, the type of story we share. I'll tell you more in a second. For example, my story, the part of my story that is relevant to you is, well, I'm a lone parent, quit my 9-to-5 job in 2004 and became a pro blogger. So that's my story, that's my journey. Of course, there's ups and downs and twists and turns into getting to that point. But in a single sentence, that's my story. Lone parent, quit the 9-to-5 race, became a pro blogger. Branding is also about your values. So for example, my values is all about self-responsibility. People need to take responsibility for themselves. So we have this trend in society that people feel entitled to things. They have their hand out, waiting for someone else to come along and give them something. My values is all about rejecting that mindset and going out and getting what you want for yourself. Because we all have that ability. We can all do it. You also need to know your why. So, why are you doing what you're doing? Obviously, it's to improve yourself. It's to improve your life. Fine. But what about beyond that? Why else are you doing it? My why is because you deserve the type of freedom that I have. Thankfully, I'm in a position where I don't have an alarm clock. I can wake up whenever I choose to, work the hours I choose, pretty much make as much money as I choose, depending on a few other factors, of course. But I'm in a position now where it's not really about the hours I work, it's about the value I deliver. And I believe anyone can achieve that kind of freedom. Everyone deserves that kind of freedom. So Profit Copilot exists to help you achieve that too. Your content in terms of branding is always about your audience. This is such an important thing to get your head around. It's not really about you unless it's relevant to your audience. This is good for you because it takes the pressure off. I'll speak a bit more about this in a second. But the content is always about your audience's needs and not about your own. So, this is the number one branding strategy that gets traffic. This will build your audience. Remember at the start of this, I mentioned your 3 messaging columns. Well, they are knowing who your audience is. You have to know that. You can't just speak to anyone and everyone in the hope that someone might like what you've got to say. You have to know exactly who you're speaking to. And they will only care about themselves and their needs. Rightly so. So they should. And this does take the pressure off you because you don't have to talk about yourself very much. You don't have to be cool. You don't have to appear to be something you're not. It takes the pressure right off you because when you know that your audience is only concerned about their needs, that makes your life easier because all you have to do is give them what they want. Nothing else. Just give them what they want. They'll love you for it. If you do that over and over and over again, you will grow an audience, you'll grow a fan base because you are giving people exactly what they want. And the content that you give them, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can have mistakes. You can stop halfway through and have a drink of water. If the content's good enough, if it helps them out, people won't mind the mistakes. And you don't have to be an expert in your industry. You don't have to have the education. You don't have to have bought a bunch of different courses in order to have learned stuff. Listen, people connect with and they respond to people who are like them. So if you have come from a similar situation and overcome a few obstacles, then your audience are going to connect with that. It will resonate with them because You're not coming from a place of you haven't spent 3 years in university learning about something. No, you've been in the real world. You've got real world experience. Think of this thing as like a street fight. You know, you have different disciplines. So you have like karate and you have those rules. If you want to win at karate, you have to follow the rules and there's a point system and all that. If you enter a niche and try and build an audience with the mindset of you're in a street fight, those rules and stuff, they don't matter too much. People don't care about those. They just want to win. They just want the results. So if you approach it with that mindset, forget about all the academia and the education, the degrees and the qualifications and all that stuff. That has its place. But if you want to make money on the internet, build an audience, go into it with the mindset that you're in a street fight. So you don't have to be an expert. You just have to know how to get results. And then the next column in our messaging is how they get it. So how they get what they want. So you have to create educational content. It has to walk them through the steps that they need to take in order to achieve something. I'll show you how to map that out right now. So we're going to go through the customer journey. So no matter who you are on this planet, you are either running from something. So there's something you want to avoid, something that scares you, something you're afraid of, something you want to get away from. And you're running to something, towards something else. So we figure out what the big 3 things are that are going to help your audience move from something to something that they want. So you just need 3. It's not much, right? So let's say my audience wants to go full-time online. They want to quit their job and they want to have full-time income from the internet, making passive income. Everyone wants that. So the first step that they will need to take is get a website. Then the second step is to do content marketing to grow an audience. And then the third step is to make passive income. So that's a very simple, it's probably oversimplified, but if someone wants to achieve a life of freedom, independence, all that good stuff, these are the steps that I would encourage them to take. So get a website, invest your time into content marketing to build an audience, and then monetize that audience to make passive income. So this journey is the only thing you have to talk about. When you create content, you only talk about what they want and how they can get it. Simple stuff. So what we do is we take one of these steps. So let's say we get a website. Then we list the objections. These are going to be the main talking points. So for this column, we would say people are afraid or what holds them back from building a website is it might be too technical or it might be too expensive. So these are 2 common objections that hold people back from building a website. In addition to listing the obstacles, we also list their fears. So people are often worried if nobody visits their website. What if they invest time and money and energy into building something and no one sees it? Or what if people do see it? And what if they hate the content or hate the website or hate the person? So if we're building a website, these are the objections and fears that my audience might be facing. So I would create content that addresses these fears and objections. I would also help move them further along this journey too. So that's what you have to do. You have to know who you're speaking to, what they want, and you have to know what's holding them back from achieving it. So when you know that, this is the number 1 branding strategy that gets traffic. So now that you know what you're talking about, you're going to start using Facebook Live. We use Facebook Live because video is the most engaging content. I use YouTube, obviously. But an easy way to start doing video stuff, Facebook Live. Everyone's got a phone, anyone can pick it up, just start shooting. I know it's scary. I know it's scary when you do it at first. And you are going to screw up. So you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. No one really cares about the mistakes. You'll notice that as I've got better with my videos, I've just left the mistakes in, because I know people don't care. We're all human. So they know that they don't expect you to be perfect. So it's okay to mess up. And you don't need many followers. You don't need a big audience. The point is to make an audience, right? Using Facebook Live, you can do it faster than on YouTube. I know that. I know you can do that. I've worked with people who use Facebook Live and they have built bigger audiences faster as a result. Ultimately, I think you have to choose the platform that you're most comfortable with. But either way, you don't need many followers. And when it comes to the organic reach on Facebook, that is pretty much dead now. It's in decline. So what you need to do is, if you can do a Facebook Live video, talk for a few minutes about an obstacle that your audience might be facing. If you get a handful of people watching your live video, you're doing really well. Because it all comes down to engagement. So forget about followers, forget about the numbers, think about the engagement. So what is engagement? Okay, so I said forget about the numbers. All right, you can have 1,000 people watch you, and unless those people are engaged in what you're doing, if they're interested in your message, it's kind of worthless. So that's why engagement is where it's at. Engagement is the number of people who watch you, the comments you get, the likes, the shares, someone who actually consumes what you're doing beyond just being a passive viewer. They have to either purposefully go and seek you out or want to return to your content. That's how you build an audience. You get people coming back, or they take some form of action. So you can either tell them what to do in the form of a call to action, or they comment because they enjoy your content so much. They want to show you how much they enjoy it, or they like it, or even better, they share it with other people. So engagement is really important, because when it comes to Facebook, the algorithm shows them more of you. The instant they interact with you, that engagement increases. Facebook knows it. So it knows that this person gets value from your content. So the next time you create a video or do something, guess what? That person's going to see your content in their feed. And that's how you build this audience on social media. So you rinse and repeat, and you will grow your brand, you'll grow that audience. Because the algorithm creates this cycle. That's how you manipulate the algorithm. Because, okay, the first time you do Facebook Live, if you get 1 or 2 people watching you, amazing. That's fantastic. If you do it every single day for the course of a month, by the end of that month, you are going to have a sizable audience compared to when you first started. And you also get good at this stuff. That's the only way to get good at it, is by doing it over and over and over again. There is no shortcut. Nobody wakes up, or very few people wake up in the morning with the natural ability to appear good on camera or create awesome content from scratch. It's a process that we all go through, and you never stop. Really, you always continue to get better and better as the more you do it. Okay, so when you do this over and over and over again, you create assets. Assets are such an important part of your business. So you're creating Facebook Live videos. They themselves are an asset, because other people, well, it draws people into what you're doing. But you can repurpose your videos, and I do this too. So what you do is you can edit out the junk stuff if you want to, and then you upload that Facebook Live to YouTube. Now you have a YouTube video. It's another asset. It's another channel to bring people into your funnel, into your message. And then you can strip the audio from that YouTube video and upload it as a podcast. I use Libsyn for that. No particular reason. I think it's a pretty good service for podcasting. You can also transcribe your audio into a blog post. I do that. I hire writers the whole time to transcribe it for me. And then I put the finishing touches on myself. So I'll go through it and add additional bits to my blog posts. Because this is a really good way to make the most out of what you've got. So you recycle your content. People don't mind hearing the same thing a few times, and don't be fooled into thinking that everyone is going to consume every piece of content you create. It would be amazing if that was true, but the truth is it's not. So it's okay to recycle your content. It's okay to repeat yourself, and then what we do is we take your best performing content from your videos, from your Facebook Lives. We take best content. How we judge that is through engagement. So the videos that get the best engagement, we turn into paid ads on Facebook. And we use that to grow your audience even bigger. Does that make sense? So when we boil it all down, every post needs to do a few things. So it needs to provide value. It's that simple. It needs to build a relationship with your audience, and it needs to make an offer. Now that offer can be anything you like. I always encourage people to turn visitors and audiences into leads. These are people that you can follow up with again and again and continue to build that relationship. And at some point in the future, that when you make an offer for a product, you pitch a product, people are more likely to buy it because you've built that relationship up. So they know that you've got their best interests at heart. And when you recommend a product, they'll know that it's because you genuinely believe it will benefit them. And that's why the relationship is so important. And listen, when you're starting out with this stuff, remember that everyone starts at zero. Okay? You might be looking at YouTubers or Facebook guys and they've got millions of followers. Every single one of them started at zero, just like you. So remember that when the going gets tough, remember that everyone has to go through the same process, the same journey, and no one is born with this massive audience. So remember at the start, I promised I would give you more traffic methods, a way to get organic traffic for free. And you can use this in conjunction with the branding strategies that I'm giving you today. Well, if you want those methods, those traffic methods, go to profitgopilot.com/traffic and grab them for free. It's not going to cost you a penny. And if you found this useful, give it a thumbs up below. Subscribe to the channel too. Hit that little notification bell so you never miss a video from me. And I will hopefully see you again in a couple of days' time. Take care.